I would like to say thank you. I agree with you. I've sat through several of these lengthy meetings, and if our public comments, which are very valid concerns, if they have someone who might be interested in hearing them leaves halfway through. I would also like to, I have concerns regarding denied FOIL requests, and how does that pertain to the transparency laws that are in place. And I also respect the chain of command as was recommended. I'm still very confused as to who exactly is in charge. The school board points the finger to Miss Garrett, and Miss Garrett points the finger to school board. I have noticed as of late, the school board is what's assigned to all the papers, so they are who I've been addressing my questions to. And I have typed my questions and handed them in, and still they're very, very vague, the answers. And they're valid questions people have, they need answers.
Comment is directed towards Don Paz's comment at the last Board of Education meeting about the website that's highlighting informative information about the spending that the board is doing. Every company, nonprofit, and school has wins and opportunities. The school website showcases the district's wins. This website is highlighting our district's opportunities. You as board members should be looking at the site to determine actionable solutions to resolve these issues. Our community voted to you as board members because we trusted you'd make the right decisions for the district and, most important, the students. As a board, you must be held accountable for your decisions.
I want to say I've been privy to some of the documents that people have been foiling, and as an alumni of this district and having two children go through here, I'm a little appalled at what I see. I also work in education, and I know that when you do travel and conference forms, a lot of that stuff should be on POs and not on credit cards. Not only shouldn't they be on credit cards, they shouldn't be on credit cards with 27% interest in Greg Adsef's name and accumulating points, and then these points suddenly disappear on different statements. And also, there are many people, mostly elderly, who have worked their tails off to support you all and have never paid a nickel in interest on a credit card, but yet you find that it's okay to pay it either late or something to accrue interest. And there are numerous statements in the 2010 credit cards that show interest paid to date. Might only be 50 bucks, 80 bucks, but there should be zero there. Get your acts together and pay the bill on time and use travel and conference forms, POs, and such, so that this stuff isn't going on credit cards. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I'm just tired of the smoke and mirror attitude of this board with a lot of the things that have been going on, and I've just had it.
Every year we owe money, and we have to put in their budget how much we have to pay for the bond. In July 1st, 2010 to June 30th, in the budget, we appropriated $3,242,000 to be paid for this bond. But in reality, we only paid $1,872,075 for the bond. So there was an excess amount that year of $1,369,924 that was originally budgeted to pay for the bond, but it did not go there. Where did the money go? The Board of Education hires consulting people to help them make decisions. Colleen Bonar and Joe Rosati are two people that have assisted with the board to help make decisions and make the right things. When you had the Geneva retreat, you hired these two people to consult and help with you do a presentation. That cost the taxpayers with the retreat almost $10,000. Now we have 2011 coming along, and again, these people are pulled in for consultants. There's 8 POs out there, $4,000 each for these two people to come back in and consult. I mean, how much do we need these people to consult with us? You know, we had them once, do we really need to have them again? I think we should review that and think twice about hiring these people for thousands and thousands of dollars that are costing us when we have all these people right here that are well educated, and one lady works at Mercy High School. I mean, I think that you guys are just as smart as her, and we don't need these people in here to make these decisions for you as board members. Because you've been here around a long time, we don't need these extra people. Another thing I wanted to ask is, when Superintendent Renee Garrett was employed here, she went to OP and OE and they repainted the walls in the schools and they repainted the stripes to help the kids get to their classrooms. She also painted over murals that were from past students. There was a lot of talk in the community about how things were painted over. Are the stripes going to be painted back on the walls for the children at OE and OP to help them get to their destinations? It was a confusion for the incoming students that year because they had all remembered and looked at the stripes to get where they wanted to go, and all of a sudden everything was all one color. Thank you.
Thank you.
Concerned citizen about the budget, and Mr. Assep presented the numbers. How accurate are we going to stay within our budget? The numbers that reflect 2010 and 11 are not staying within our budget, and they are grossly under budgeted. The BOCES, he talked about BOCES. BOCES administration was budgeted 2010 and 11 for $305,000, $715. But in fact, we paid out $391,000, so we were way under budgeted with that. The middle school supplies, we were budgeted for $7,540 and we spent $146,574. The Board of Education gets $800 for supplies. They spent $18,131 for supplies. Contractual Board of Education, $3,500 was the budget. They spent $10,500. Supplies for superintendent was $3,500. She spent $9,500. Equipment for OE, $3,000 was the budget. They spent $70,000. And I can go on and on with that budget for that year. I'm concerned about the budget for 2011 and 12. How are you going to stay with?
On the Board of Education public comment Q&A website, there are some questions that were posed in the past regarding budgeting overages. Specifically, the question on the website asks, how do you budget for administrative overages? Does the public have any input? The response that's posted says, we technically don't budget for any overages. We maintain flexibility within the budget to meet the school district needs throughout the school year. The public is able to provide their input through the annual vote in which they vote for the total budget. My specific question in regard to, for an example, last year's budget for the Board of Education, the voters approved a budget of $3,500. In fact, what was spent was $18,657.68. Inasmuch as you've also posted on the website that you speak for taxpayers, my question is, how much flexibility is acceptable and fair to taxpayers? Inasmuch as the voters okayed $3,500, but that's not what's spent. My second question in regard to something that I asked last week, is the Board of Education aware of the nature of the complaints that led to the audit by the state controller? My third question and comment regarding public comment, and I know you're going to talk about it this evening, the open meetings law allows you to take minutes as a summary of motions, proposals, resolutions, or any other matter formally voted upon. That's from the open meetings law itself. It doesn't specifically say that you may summarize public comment. Specifically, I'm wondering about a question that I witnessed at a previous Board of Ed meeting when the public, the person asked if all coaches were required to do community service. Additionally, last week my question was changed. The question was specifically, are all Board of Education members meeting their ethical obligations? Words are important, and the way that words are posted have great meaning. So my question is, or request, could you please explain explicitly the procedure and specific persons involved from the time questions are being submitted to the time that they are being answered? Thank you.
Guidelines on the website, both on perhaps the board agenda and meeting minutes or something, so people could find it. I would really not like to see that the first public comment be for agenda items only. It is a very rare occurrence that we use up the full 15 minutes of the early comment period. People who come to sit there and say there was something really great that went on are going to not be able to say that until the end of the meeting if you go